We're all familiar with the chakras and the spirals of the chakras, and we go forward with our knowledge of energy anatomy to do with our understanding of these chakras and how they need to spiral correctly. So we have that kind of information. Now, additionally, we have information about bilateral chakras. It's quite important because chakras that are bilateral would be like the lungs here, but also the eyes, the nose, the ears, and then all the joints are also chakras, and that includes the legs. The legs are bilateral chakras as part of a more complex root chakra structure. It was quite interesting when we did this diagram how we start looking like aliens when we start drawing the chakra energy in, specifically and especially if you put in the bilateral chakras. We start to see a different looking being emerge, and I'm rather fond of this diagram. See, the adrenals are bilateral chakras, the ovaries are bilateral chakras, and then these joints are also bilateral chakras. Now, we did these small because it would have come out a bit too big. And over here you can see that the joints actually make infinity signs as the energy moves through them, as opposed to just a single spiral. And we can come back to that and take a look at how that infinity sign comes to be instead of a spiral. So this is a proxy diagram using crystals of my legs, or of legs. These are the knees, this is the lower leg, this is the upper leg, and knees are joints, and so we're going to do the infinity sign through the joint. I'm going to use the diamantina end. It's a nice one, it's a double terminated diamantina, and I'm just going to do the infinity sign through the joint and get it working very nicely. There we go. Oh, and then of course you have to match on the other side. So even if a person has an injury only on one side of their body, you do want to adjust the energy on both sides. It might not need as much work, but it does need to be kept in balance. There we go. That's nice. So there's a joint here, and that's the ankle joint, and that can get harmonized, and then that joint there. There's quite a big infinity sign balanced on both sides. This is the midline of the body, and this is the way to do the hip joint. Midline of the body, this is the way to adjust the hip joint at that angle. Good. Now what we have here is a diagram of the vertebrae, and this is the neck, and this would be C1, and this would be C7. So that's coming down the neck, so the skull will be here. And what we want to do is go through the joint space in an infinity sign. And so what you have, it's very easy to see on the spine, is that you have a spiraling action at this side of the joint. Then you have another balanced spiraling action on this side of the joint. The two together, spiraling together, make the infinity sign. And that's how we get to that infinity sign. So there's the spiral, and there's the spiral. But to make it work together, it's better, easier, more straightforward, and more effective to make an infinity sign. And you can do that through every vertebra by making a diagram like this, or using an illustration. You can print off an illustration of the spine and work on that as well. There we go, all the way through the cervical spine, all the joints. Now you'll notice that I've even put in these quartz crystals to act as the nerves, and I just wanted to show, while I had this construction, that you can then go in and work in detail, because people do tend to get inflammation in this tissue, and so it's quite nice to get this magnification that you can then work on and really do some micro crystal surgery work by magnifying in this way. So that is joint chakras, infinity sign. Great. And now next we're going to do bilateral chakras using the skull. So here's the skull. I'll place it there, and the ears are here. Because it's a skull, it doesn't look exactly like what a head with the pinna look like. And then here the eyes are bilateral chakras, the nostrils are bilateral chakras. So those are the three we'll do. We'll do the ears, the eyes, and the nose. And to do that, I'll start by using my laser wands in my basic wand construction, and we'll start at the ears. And you want to get the energy from crystal to crystal to meet through the skull, through the head, and then you turn the chakras together. And I think maybe we'll just move that out the way so it's not blocking the image. And there we do it again. We turn the chakras together. I think I'll just say that all again. So what you want to do is bring your two wands towards each other, get the beam of light to meet in the skull itself, and then you turn the chakras together. Very good. And then for the eyes, you turn the chakras together. Same with the nostrils. That's good. And that's how to work with bilateral chakras.